Hello everyone, I am Crota giving you the finals of GCup 70. Wow, so many GCups after Zotac Cups and all the other cups have come and gone. GCup still giving us some great WarCraft 3 action as we now see WarChiefRich spawning as the blue Night Elf on the top left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, over here on the top right, currently working at 4 times speed, we have Hawk. Human versus Night Elf in this 1v1 series, and I'm really glad to see WarChiefRich really bounce back from last week's tournament results. He wasn't playing up to his normal self, normal standard, and now we see him in the finals here as he's going to be opening up with a Warden going up against most likely an Archmage. Let's go ahead and take a look back over here. It is in fact going to be an Archmage as both sides have quickly scouted out and know where their opponent is. Now you can see that the militia are already running out across over here, and they are going to be going after this 5-4-3-1-1 creep camp. Yeah, so 5-4-3-1-1 creep camp. It will drop or will get that Archmage up to level 2. We may see a Troll Shadow Priest come in as well. Meanwhile, Ancient of War doing some heavy repairs as well, tanking a lot of that damage. And an Archer is coming across over here as well. Troll Shadow Priest, one of the necessary units in this matchup, Night Elf versus Human, because that Troll Shadow Priest does in fact have Abolish Magic, which can shut down... Whoa! Ancient of War getting taken out very quickly. I don't know if that was actually expected or wanted by WarChiefRich, but he does end up losing that Ancient of War. Back across over here, Tree of Life still training up more units, and if the Archmage decides to put on a lot of pressure here, there is going to be a lot of Wisp casualties, and until perhaps another unit is able to be trained. Perhaps a Wisp will be left behind over here trying to pick up a Forest Troll Berserker. That could be in the realm of possibility, as well as the Warden, currently back up to full hit points, is ready to engage. Back across over here, a quick detonation. Are we going to be seeing Militia make its way over here to this 5-3-3 or 5-4-3 creep camp? And yes, we are. That Giant Wolf does in fact deal a large bit of damage. It can critical strike, as you can see, 42 damage right there. Lightning Shield now coming online as well, as Hawk now looking to back off, finish off this creep camp, and perhaps start getting to level 2. Tier 2 after he gets this expansion up and running. Tier 2 is going to be a little bit delayed, as we're already looking at the Town Hall still training up more peasants. Ancient of War off over here. There was another Ancient of War ready to go, and this makes me wonder if WarChiefRich knew that that Ancient of War could perhaps just be sacrificed. Warden coming back across over here takes a Shadow Strike to the head, and that is going to be very bad news there. It needs to get healed back up. Abolish Magic not really working. Is it going to get healed in time? No, it will not, as the Warden gets that Forest Troll and is now almost at level 3. Meanwhile, already at level 3, it may get a level 2 Shadow Strike onto that Archmage. Archmage taking a lot of physical damage right there, and that Warden now needs to back away. That Archmage does have a Pure Up of Vitality, so that is a lot more damage than you would normally, or a lot more hit points than you would normally expect right now. That Archmage should actually be in the red. That 150 extra hit points. Oh, is that Warden? Wow, that Warden was trying to time an additional Shadow Strike, and instead ends up sacrificing a Forest Troll Berserker. Things not going all too well, but I cannot imagine this Archmage wants to stick around for this upcoming fight. He needs an Arcane Vault. He needs to be healed back up. This Arcane Vault should be sped built here in just a moment. Meanwhile, Ancient of War going to be tanking a bit more damage as well, as WarChiefRich tries to find an answer to that expansion play that is currently coming in. Now, the Warden does have Claws of Attack +9, Ring of Protection +2, and is going to be setting up an expansion of his own. This map, the 2 expansions are going to be very close together, so this center portion right here is going to be extremely important as the action does go back and forth. Meanwhile, back across over here, Archmage could be dropping an additional Water Elemental or 2, or nope, just going to take down that Gargantuan Sea Turtle. That Archmage should be shy of level 4. Maybe, get up to about here in terms of experience, since it is a level 7 creep. Let's see. Yep, well, close enough. Right there, and now only 97 experience shy from level 4. That level 2 Brilliant Aura will give the Forest Troll Shadow Priest more mana, And more importantly, when we do see a tech to tier 2, what it will give is more mana to all of the casters that could be joining in on the fight. Meanwhile, let's go across back over here. One Ancient of War, one Tree of Life standing next to each other. I thought that Tree of Life would be further along. Meanwhile, the Warden does have Gloves of Haste, so it's going to be attacking very, very quickly. An agility-based hero with a lot of direct damage here, as we can see that the Archmage at 825. Shadow Strike now straight up onto that Forest Troll Priest. Is he going to be able to heal himself up? That is going to be the question. One attack, two attacks, it is now gone. Is he going to perhaps blink away? There is a Shadow Strike focusing down another unit, and the Warden having a very easy time picking off units so far. That one archer off over here was shadow melded, so it was able to keep track of some of those units. 31 over 40 supply compared to 38 over 54. We are at Tree of Ages, and now we can see, are we going to be looking at a Tavern Hero? I don't see one yet. It most likely will end up being solo Warden right now, as two Forest Troll Shadow Priests are running back home. Back across over here, Ancient of War is in position. You can see that the Tree of Life is going to be ready as well. And if we do see a bit of a fight here, this is actually going to be very, very bad for the Archmage. He does not have enough of an army to deal with what we're looking at now. And with Dryads coming in, the Dryads may be able to start slowing down some of these units. And with the slowdown, really start to pick them off, and also having that Abolish Magic, allowing the Warden to maybe get to level 4. That is going to be a very, very close call there at 89.3. Very close to level 4 now, and we may even start seeing some Fan of Knives or even some Blink play, as Blink does start to become much more cost effective in those higher tiers. Warden wandering around here. Shadow Strike going down. No Shadow Strike. Where are they going to be going next? It looks as though there's one Arcane Tower. You can see the Blacksmith going to be taking a little bit of damage as well. Dryads trying to poke their way inside. There is a Shadow Strike now onto that Peasant. That Peasant is going to see better days. Today, well, is not going to see better days, because today is his last day, as the Forest Troll Shadow Priest now heading back over here to the top left. All right, are we going to see a Shadow Strike onto that Forest Troll Shadow Priest? It looks like we could be having it. Shadow Strike instead onto the Archmage. Abolish Magic finishing off a Water Elemental, as the Dryad now trying to get back as well. All right, in comes some more engagements, and this Warden is just absolutely destroying the Night Elf army. The problem right now is that Warden is only sitting at level 4. If it was at level 5 and gaining experience towards level 6, then that ultimate ability, that Avatar of Vengeance, would start to come online. As you know, you cannot gain experience on your hero once you are at level 5 through creeping. So if you're able to engage in a very cost-effective fight at level 5 against your opponent, you can really catch your opponent off guard and not realize that perhaps that ultimate ability is just coming online. All right, you can see that the Warden now going after the Gargantuan Sea Turtles here. I like this decision. The fact that he's going after Gargantuan Sea Turtles now knows that he wants powerful consumables, and he knows that an upcoming fight up against his opponent would then give him more experience again. All right, Wand of Mana Stealing, not necessarily the best item. Forest Troll Shadow Priest, or Forest Troll Shadow Priest are doing a bit of healing. Meanwhile, the Archmage off to the north here, going after a relatively difficult creep camp, and we can see a Dark Wizard joining in on that fight. All right, there is also a Bronze Drake and a Rogue Wizard coming in. Does that Bronze Drake, can it purge? That is the big question. As you can see, more skeletal minions are coming in to engage. All right, Dark Wizard causing a bit of problems, doing chaos damage. Triple water elementals in order to try to focus this down. The Dark Wizard does have 7 armor, making it very difficult to destroy, as you see more and more skeletal minions joining in on the fight. Archmage may get to level 5 here. No, never mind. Mountain King is now nearby. And that Mountain King will get what was a Scroll of Restoration, 300 hit points and 150 mana to friendly non-mechanical units in the area around your hero. Basically a Scroll of Healing and a Scroll of Mana all in one go, as that Bronze Drake will not allow the Mountain King to get to level 2. It will give a Tome of Strength +2, as the Mountain King now enjoys having a little bit more hit points. Illusioned Warden wandering around here. Warden sitting at level 5. Isn't going to be able to pick off any units. Hippogriffs now in the air here. You can see guard towers are here as well. This is all going to be a very, very difficult situation to handle, as the footmen are now wandering about. Dryads do not have the right armor type to go up against these guard towers here, and that is going to be some serious damage being absorbed there. Same thing for that Druid of the Claw, who does not want to be taking so much damage early on. Meanwhile, Footman down over here, he's going to get cleaned up as the Warden sitting on 2 bases, just like the human player. However, Hawk is sitting at about a 15 supply advantage going into the next fight. Reveal, wow, Hippogriff down to 14 hit points, almost gets taken out. However, Warden is going to be here instead. It looks as though, yes, we are going to see that getting taken down. Warden losing a fair bit of mana, and this is going to be a problem. Fan of Knives going across the board, dealing a lot of damage to a lot of units as a Scroll of Town Portal now being used. Bears now need to all back off here. It looks as though, yes, the Scroll of Town Portal will be executed in time. And if it is level 3 Fan of Knives, those peasants and those casters are going to have a lot of problem. But with so many Spellbreakers, the Spellbreakers with their immunity to Fan of Knives should end up becoming the big issue for that Warden. However, we are getting up more Bears. Bears with that with their melee attack, their normal attack is very strong against the normal armor of those Spellbreakers. The Spellbreakers only at 1/1 upgrades right now, as we are also getting Chimeras to join in on the fight. Archmage now making their way off over here, going after a Dark Wizard creep camp again. Hippogriff is nearby, but it will be able to escape as the Green Drake and Dark Wizard is still continuing this fight. This Green Drake, does it deal poison damage? No? Okay, so not quite sure what that's about. Polymorph onto the Dark Wizard. Wow, Polymorph, not a spell that you see very often. What actually polymorphed? That's my question, because the Sorceress are not at mastery training, so somehow it was taken out, or perhaps it was control magicked away. Perhaps the Dark Wizard himself tried to polymorph, and then a control or a spell steal switched it back onto his opponent's units. Alright, a red Drake egg has been dropped. You see a lot of very powerful consumables by that Mountain King. Fairy Dragons are here ready to go. 1 Hippogriff up in the air. Stormbolt onto the Druid of the Claw. Are we going to see some big saving? Are we going to see the Staff of Preservation? We should be looking at it right there, as the Hippogriff and other units do need to make their way out. Alright, Rejuvenation onto a Hippogriff. That Hippogriff has taken a lot of damage, and it looks like it will end up getting destroyed as well. Flying Machines now currently out and about. You can see a little bit of slow poison coming back around the other way. Flying Machines looking to focus down these Fairy Dragons, but Fairy Dragons with 16 armor right now. Very, very heavy damage reduction. Very difficult to take out, as the Warden is about halfway to level 6. Mercenary Camp. We are currently upgrading the castle, getting level 2 armor upgrades for those Spellbreakers and also those Flying Machines. The Spellbreakers are up to, 2 upgrades. Fly Machine sitting at 1-2. Mortar Team sitting at 1-0. As there are casters in this team as well. 72 over 78 supply compared to 80 over 80. There is 2 Chimeras ready to go. And Chimeras, as you remember, do deal magic damage, making any sort of towers very, very weak. Any human towers very, very weak, since they do in fact have heavy armor. All right, let's go ahead and let's take a look at what's going to be attacking, or what's going to be going down here in just a moment. Units are all just wandering around on the center, attacking from a different neck of the forest here. And so far, we are also going into Dragonhawk Riders. This is going to be a very, very large economically driven battle. As we can see, 77 over 84 compared to, I believe, 80 over 80 right now, 79 over 80. So we are very close to each other in terms of overall armor, or overall army compositions. A quick death of an archer there to try and, I guess, save supply for perhaps another Dryad. Meanwhile, off over here, it looks like this Wisp was trying to build something and was quickly denied. All right, let's take a look. Taking down a critter there. No experience given, since critters don't give experience. Warden still seen at level 5. Roar now being used, as the Hippogriffs are going to be there to try and counteract those Dragonhawk Riders. Bears are all in position. Forest Troll, Shadow Priest in the back there. Not very much mana. You can see the army now looking to engage, as there are a lot of Flying Machines and Mortar Teams ready to begin this engagement here. All right, Workshop number 1 taken out. Arcane Sanctum could get taken out very, very quickly as well. 2-2 upgrades on those Chimeras, and here you go. There's the engagement. There's the shackles, as the Chimeras are currently out of action. We are still looking at a big fight here. Hippogriffs now looking to join in. Are they going to be able to poke through? That is the big question. Fan of Knives dealing damage to all of those air units here as the Warden now trying to get away. Warden is in serious trouble. Needs to use the Scroll of Town portal. Dragonhawk Riders should not... Oh, is that Dragonhawk? Wow, that Chimera able to get away just in time as the flying machines unable to finish off any of the additional units. Overall supply 72 over 80 compared to 79 over 84. 500 gold in the bank compared to 300 gold in the bank right now. More Hippogriffs being added as we are still looking at a very, very close game. But as the game does roll on, having that additional hero does make things significantly easier for the human player Hawk. Chimeras, Avatar of Vengeance, ready to come in online. Where you see a Clarity Potion was being used as well. And does the Sorceress, it does have invisibility, which is going to be important. Forest Troll Shadow Priests do not have that much mana. They are perhaps the weakest link in the army right now, since they do not share any of the upgrades and are really technologically tech inferior to the other units. All right, let's go ahead and make our way back off to the north. You can see a Hippogriff and Fairy Dragons in position. Avatar of Vengeance. You can take a look. Are we going to perhaps see a Water Elemental? Yes, it does get taken down. Little bit more experience, not much for that Warden, who is now getting closer to 7. All right, Hippogriff still ready to go. 3 Chimeras in the air. And where are they going to be traveling to next? Are we going to get a little bit more gold? Avatar of Vengeance still in play. Warden still in play. Dryads currently at 2-3 upgrades, going up against the Spellbreakers, who are currently sitting at 2-2. All right, we look like we're going to be going into an engagement here in just a moment. There are Hippogriffs and other units and the Fairy Dragons ready to go off to the side. Spellbreakers are going to be bringing up the middle, and the Spellbreakers... This is one of those situations where the Bears really wish they could stop generating mana for a little while. That extra damage from those Spellbreakers really does hurt, as we're now looking at a big fight here. All right, high upkeep, Scroll of Town portal coming in. Mortar teams now looking to back away. Is it going to be enough? If you can see the quick fight there, the Mortar team's unable to finish off that Tree of Life. The Wisp are desperately repairing it. 90 over 90 supply compared to 75 over 84. 8 gold a second compared to 14 gold a second right now, based on the 2 bases. And we are looking at, what, a little bit more than 2 minutes left of mining on the main expansion locations. However, Hawk is already setting up his 3rd base here, already has dual arcane towers. It is going to be ready to defend. And the question now is, does WarChiefRich have enough units to really pressure his opponent? 70 to 134 damage per attack from those Chimeras. Bears 32 to 62. And this is one of those situations where, do you really want to use Roar, knowing that it's just going to end up giving your opponent more and more? All right, let's take a look. Spirit of Vengeances are all just falling apart now. They could have just been sitting inside that base and attacking peasants, getting in a little bit more experience, or trying to take down a couple of flying machines. Instead, they chased some units and ended up not dealing as much damage as they possibly could. All right, Wisp now being told to back off here. Spirit of Vengeance is ready to go. 4 Chimeras, 5 Bears, Hippogriffs, Dryads, Spirit of Vengeance. The Warden has maximum mana once more, also has an anti-magic potion. Should be able to dodge a bit of damage from that Mountain King, as well as the Mountain King is still sitting at level 2. All right, we are going to be going around the corner. You can see that this Tree of Life down over here does have 4 Wisp in the gold mine, almost 5. So that gold mine just started mining about, what, 2 minutes ago? Just started mining about 2 minutes ago, as we are now heading back off to the north. All right, Mortar teams trying to make their way here. They know that there is an entangled gold mine right there, ready to go, as we are going to be looking at a big fight here. All right, here comes the units. Dryads, Hippogriffs, Chimeras, Bears now making their way off to the north. They're doing a very, very strong chase. Very, very strong chase here as the Chimera is now trying to push through. All right, Shackles now going in. Mountain King, Hippogriffs trying to take down all of those Dragonhawk Riders. It looks like they're going to be taken down here. Scroll of Restoration quickly used, and that may have been the saving grace that the Mountain King needed to save a lot of his units. Fan of Knives not nearly as successful after that one particular spell, as we now see the Chimeras are trying to clean up everything else. Spellbreakers having a long problem Flying machines are now making their way back over. Chimeras are now just trying to push their way through as they are eating through all of these Archmages right now. Hippogriffs, Bears now looking to engage. Archmage now looking to back off. Scroll of Town Portal now being used as the Scroll of Town Portal will be lifting off away. This expansion looks like it will be getting cleaned up. And with this expansion gone, there is the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 1. Please stay tuned for Game number 2.